It's finally here, ladies and gentlemen, the season opener of the 2021 NFL season tonight. If you're watching this live, congratulations, you made it this far. A few months without football, without meaningful football. Listen, I've been on some business trips in the past for a few weeks, and abstaining and not being around my hot brunette wife, that's torture. It brought back a lot of flashbacks of that, being without football. It really did. Well, hey, my name is Hassan Khan, and I appreciate you guys joining us for this daily show called Time2Football. Again, if you're joining us for the very first time, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we go on here and we just talk about football. And today, there's a lot of football to be talked about. We're actually going to be joined by our buddy of ours. If you're a regular viewer, you may remember him, Shaun Landry. He actually started a new podcast called Go for Glory. He's a big LSU and New Orleans Saints fan, so he talks a lot about that. We're going to bring him on, give him a plug, shout out as well, but he's going to be talking about the game and between the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's tonight. That's wild. September 9th. We made it. Man, we made it. And we're also going to go into weekly picks because prior to Thursday night's game, I asked a lot of questions on Instagram. If you can go to @Time2Football on Instagram, you can vote on our polls right now. But I'm going to reveal the results of all of those polls of each game that's happening in week one, all 16 games. You guys voted. Let's just see who you, the Time2Football fan base, thinks is going to win every single game, including tonight. I'm excited. I really am. Hey, but before we get into all of that, we are going to get into weekly picks, or actually news for the show. Then we'll get into weekly picks after we bring on Shaun Landry. But let's go ahead and talk about some news that's going around the NFL that's been happening in the last 24 hours or so since we were last on air. By the way, you guys can be commenting in the chat as well. I actually see Chris Bailey right here. What up, Brody? Should I start Gaskin or Harris? I have Henry RB1 and Hunt at flex. You should definitely 100% start Gaskin over Derrick Henry. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. But, if it were me, as their RB2, I would start Damian Harris. I like him a lot more than Myles Gaskin. Gaskin, I don't know what this timeshare is going to look like with Malcolm Brown in there, Salvon Ahmed in there as well. So I don't know. I trust Damian Harris a lot more as your RB2. But yeah, go ahead and ask your fantasy football questions if you want, and we're going to be answering them throughout the duration of this show. Am I loud enough? I'm good. Okay, let's get into today's news and notes around the NFL that's going on prior to the season opener. I think the biggest news that's been happening in the last 24 hours or so is that Bradley Roby has been traded to the New Orleans Saints. So he's been traded. They already beefed up their secondary with Desmond Trufant being added in there as well. Now they just add in Bradley Roby into the mix as well, and it should be good to go for the Saints and their defense. I mean, you got a tough task against Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Robert Tonyan, and all that. So hopefully Bradley Roby would be a good asset. And this is actually some big news coming out of L.A. Austin Eckler, it's a surprise, hamstring injury, did not practice yesterday. That's something to be concerned about because hamstrings are lingering issues that you don't want to mess with, because if you bring back someone too early, they're going to go ahead and tweak it again. So I'm going to go ahead and say that Austin Eckler, if I had to make a bet or make a prediction, I don't think he's going to be playing this Sunday against the Washington football team. So I would put all of your stock in someone like Justin Jackson, and then you have Larry Roundtree and Josh Kelly working there as well. Oh, man, I just got an alert from Shaun Landry saying, having technical issues on my end, and we don't have service. No worries. No worries. Hey, Shaun, you probably don't have service. You're not watching this right now, but hey, thank you for willing to be on the show. We're going to definitely bring you back next time. With all that said, that kind of jumbles up my plans for the live show. But hey, you know what that means? That means a lot more time that we get to dedicate to you guys and asking your fantasy football questions that we get to answer on the show. So there's some good that comes from it. Continuing on with the NFL news and notes that we have around the NFL, Justice Hill just got waived by the Baltimore Ravens. He suffered a torn Achilles. He was already the number 3 running back behind Tyson Williams, Gus Edwards, and this does, I mean, there has to have been some sort of injury settlement for the Baltimore Ravens and Justice Hill. They're moving on. They're moving on. They signed Le'Veon Bell as well. So that's kind of the reason. And you would expect Le'Veon Bell with Justice Hill getting waived sooner rather than later. He's going to be activated off the practice squad and moved up to the main roster. Uh, what else we got? Quentin Nelson. He has a foot and a back injury. He was held out of practice. So we talked about the 5 to 12 week window with Carson Wentz and Quentin Nelson uh, that they suffered a month ago, that recovery time that they had, pretty much the same injury in the foot. And Carson Wentz is looking more and more like he's going to be playing on Sunday, while Quentin Nelson, he may have to wait another week or two. Held out of practice. He may need to be some sort of limited participant today in order to have any sort of hope of playing. Because if he's not limited today, forget about it. If he's out of practice, he's not playing. But speaking of the Colts, we also got Paris Campbell, who had an Achilles issue. This seems like a lingering issue. It doesn't seem like it's a new issue. He was limited in practice, so I think they're just kind of playing it safe. But Paris Campbell actually is expected to have a big role in this offense per Frank Reich that he stated this past offseason. So Michael Pittman, Paris Campbell are going to be the wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 for the Colts coming up this Sunday against the Seahawks. Last Colts player we want to talk about, Carson Wentz. This is good news for you Colts fans. He participated fully in practice, so his foot is okay. He's going to be good to go. Don't have to worry about those injury issues with Carson Wentz, at least for week 1. More injury news. We got Mecole Hardman was limited in practice as well. Has a hurt oblique, but it doesn't seem like it's that big of an issue, and he seems like he's on track to play against the Cleveland Browns. Kenny Golladay, man, a lot of people don't have a lot of hope in Kenny Golladay this year, and maybe the injuries has something to do with it. Signed a 4-year, $72 million contract with the New York Giants, but has been suffering through a hurt hamstring. He was limited in practice today, so there is some hope that he gets to play this Sunday and make his debut for the New York Giants. But speaking of another New York Giants wide receiver, on top of that, Kadarius Toney could see a significant role in week 1. This is per Joe Judge, the head coach, has said that Kadarius Toney, hey, he can make an impact. He said the word significant role. So for you guys that play fantasy football, I don't know if this is something that I would really put all my stock into and pick him up off the waivers and put him on my flex. I mean, if you had Kenny Golladay and you needed a replacement and he's the only one, sure. But I mean, if you had Kenny Golladay as like your wide receiver 2 or your flex and you needed a replacement for Kenny Golladay, I would say in the first place, it's not looking that good for your team. He's more of like a bench player that can come in during a bye week, that sort of player. So I would have put too much stock into Kadarius Toney, but Joe Judge likes him in week 1. Curtis Samuel, who's going to be a big part of the Washington football team offense, he was hurt in practice. He has a groin injury, and this is not good because he was actually hurt during practice. So practice, got hurt, had to get out of practice. Curtis Samuel is not looking that positive that he's going to be playing this Sunday against the LA Chargers. Big news out of Pittsburgh, TJ Watt ended his hold in, hold out, whatever you want to call it, and he practices. So Mike Tomlin, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the organization, the way that they run, if you don't practice in any sort of capacity in the Pittsburgh Steelers organization, you're not going to be playing. You got to get familiar with the game plan, the defensive play calls, all that kind of sort of stuff. And TJ Watt has been holding out on practice this whole offseason, but he finally came back. He practiced fully, so it's expected that he's going to be playing against the Buffalo Bills. Much needed TJ Watt against that high-powered Buffalo Bills offense. Chris Godwin, there was a little bit of a scare actually in the last 24 hours. He was limited in practice because of a quad injury. He actually fully practiced here today. So the quad injury is not that big of an issue. Chris Godwin is we'd expect a good to go tonight against the Dallas Cowboys. And I think that actually wraps up our NFL news and notes for today. Now, getting into the next topic, we actually, like I said, we wanted to bring on Shaun Landry and give his thoughts on the Dallas Cowboys. But you know what? The beauty of this show is that it is live and things happen. You're going to have to just work off the fly. So because of that, listen, I got the next few minutes free, which is amazing. So I'm going to be chatting with you guys. I'll answer fantasy football questions And also, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What are your thoughts? Who do you think is going to win that game? How many yards, touchdowns are all these star players going to be throwing? So let's go ahead and just chat about all that kind of sort of stuff. Uh, I'm going to go ahead and answer a question from Earthly Links. He says, "What's up, fellas? How you doing, my man? Zeke, Antonio Gibson, Ronald Jones, stashing Javonte Williams and Malcolm Brown. Okay. That's a good running back lineup, I would say, right there. Ronald Jones in your flex. Javonte Williams during the fantasy playoffs. Love it. Big Jim Jean. Who do I flex? Singletary, Damian Harris, Miko Hardman, Traquan Smith, or Mike Williams? Ooh, I am a big Mike Williams fan this year, but against the Washington football team, I'd be cautious with it. So Damian Harris is on my must-start list because even though the Dolphins have a tough defense, the volume is there. Damian Harris, all the way, would be my choice in starting against the Miami Dolphins. You also said, Big Jim Gene, I think Dallas is going to upset the Bucs. It could happen. With Dak Prescott back, CeeDee Lamb expected to take a little bump up. Ezekiel Elliott is fully healthy. We'll see. Andres asks, Pittman, Cooks, Sutton, Debo, or T. Marshall? Need two. Ooh, I'm going to go with Cooks, obviously. And then, this is half PPR, you said? Okay. I'm going to go with Cooks. And even though I'm not too confident in Debo Samuel, man, it's between Debo Samuel and Cortland Sutton. I like Debo Samuel in his matchup, and it's amazing. But from weeks 4 through 7 last year, when Samuel, Ayuk, and George Kittle were all healthy, Ayuk and Debo Samuel failed to finish inside of the top 50 at the position for those 4 weeks, 4 through 7. So because of that, because of the target share, I don't know if I can be too confident. If he's the only guy you got, then sure. But I'm going to go ahead and say Cooks and Sutton are more of the safer choices to start in those half PPR moments. Let me go ahead and answer one more before I move on to the weekly picks. Let's go ahead and answer. Dante Jones says, should I stash Bryan Edwards on my bench for upside or get Curtis Samuel at this point because of the groin injury? Oh, I'm going to say wait on the groin injury because I don't think Bryan Edwards is that hot of a commodity for people to be rushing to the bench. Listen out on the injury news of Curtis Samuel. If he's going to be out for a few weeks, you could also put him on IR, but you could also drop him. So if it's not that big of a serious injury for Curtis Samuel, I would keep Curtis Samuel because he's expected to be a big part of that Washington football team offense. But if he's going to be out for a few weeks, yeah, go ahead and drop him and pick up Bryan Edwards. So stay tuned for those news for the next few days. But that's going to go ahead and transition us to the weekly picks. I'm going to answer more questions towards the end of the show like I always do. But as of right now, I'm going to go ahead and get into our weekly picks for today's episode. So what we did is we went to Instagram and, wow, my voice just cracked right there. It's kind of embarrassing. We went to Instagram and we took polls of every single game that's going to be happening this weekend. Who do you think is going to win each game? All 16 games, we asked them, and you guys voted, and we're going to show you guys the results. So I'm going to go ahead and get my deep announcer voice out because this is going to be pretty tricky to go through. But showing you weekly picks, each game, who you voted for on Instagram, who do you guys think is going to win? Let's go ahead and get this thing going. The 2021 NFL defending Super Bowl champions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The last time the Bucs played in a game at home, they won the Super Bowl. Dak Prescott is fully healthy and ready to lead his team in this high-powered offense. We took to Instagram to take polls. What did you guys believe? Who was going to win? 77% believe that the Bucs will beat the Dallas Cowboys. A little lopsided right there. We'll see if it happens. Moving into the first NFL Sunday of the season, the Texans host the Jaguars in an AFC South matchup. The anticipated debut of Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer will be one to watch, while the Texans will have to make do without their star quarterback. Houston is out to prove everyone wrong this year, and according to the polls, We've got the Jaguars winning. 72% believe it's going to be the Jaguars that beat the Texans. Vegas may say he's got a chance to win NFL MVP, but Justin Herbert's got a rough start as he leads the LA Chargers on the road against the Washington football team. Ron Rivera added many offensive pieces to help complement his already ferocious defense. To make matters worse, the Chargers could be without Austin Eckler. And on Instagram, the Chargers are favored to win 64% over the Washington football team. Russell Wilson and the Seahawks travel to the Midwest to take on the Indianapolis Colts. The Seahawks have locked in Jamal Adams this offseason, which is tough news for a team with so many underlying injuries in the Colts. However, Carson Wentz is ready to go and make his debut. And on Instagram, who do you guys feel is going to win this game? 81% favoring the Seahawks over the Colts, not really giving Indianapolis a shot in this. The axe forgets, but the tree remembers. Sam Darnold and Robbie Anderson look to get even against their former team, the New York Jets. Zach Wilson had himself a great preseason, but with now having to keep up with the Carolina offense that has Christian McCaffrey back healthy, this could be tough. Who do you guys believe is going to win this game? The Carolina Panthers are favored to win, according to you guys by the polls that we asked, 76% over 24% in favor of the New York Jets. How will this offensive line hold up? The Minnesota Vikings against the Cincinnati Bengals. The star power is there on the offense for the Vikings. And same goes for the Bengals, who have Joe Burrow now healthy enough to open up the season. But can he be protected at all costs? What do you guys believe? Who is going to win this game? The Minnesota Vikings favored 78% to the Bengals 22%. These two teams made the Super Bowl in our schedule simulation. Arizona Cardinals versus the Tennessee Titans. For those wondering, it was the Titans that ended up winning the whole thing in our simulation. Will year 3 be a significant one for Kyler Murray? And how will the Titans look with the addition of Julio Jones? According to you guys who took the polls to Instagram, the Tennessee Titans are favored to win 73%, and 27% are in favor of the Arizona Cardinals. They're fully healthy and ready to go. The 49ers look to regain their Super Bowl form against Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions. Detroit is projected to be one of the worst teams this year, but they can make a statement in this game. The 49ers are back healthy, and you guys believe that they're going to win this game 88%, and 12 of you are sticking with the Detroit Lions, the underdogs in this game. Najee Harris will make his NFL debut with the Steelers against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. This is a rematch of a Sunday night game from last year, but the Steelers are hoping there's a different outcome this time around. Could this be another incredible season from Josh Allen? Take it to the polls. What do the Time2Football fans believe? The Buffalo Bills, 72% of you believe are going to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are favored 28%. Two new head coaches face each other as the Eagles travel to the Bends and face the Atlanta Falcons. The confidence level in Jalen Hurts seems to be low, while Matt Ryan's days in Atlanta might be coming to an end sooner rather than later as well. But this season, we've got Matt Ryan as the starting quarterback, and 53% of you still take the Eagles over the Atlanta Falcons, 47% in favor of the Falcons. The Browns were so close in pulling off the upset in the playoffs, and they're hoping this game against the Chiefs has a different outcome. Cleveland is set to prove that last year wasn't a fluke, while the Chiefs continue to be one of the best teams in the NFL. And given that they are the best teams, 84% of you guys favor the Chiefs, and only 16% are going with the Browns in this game. A new era begins in New Orleans as Jameis Winston and the Saints face the Green Bay Packers. This matchup was actually moved to Jacksonville because of Hurricane Ida. Soak up every moment of seeing Aaron Rodgers in a Packers uniform this season, because this year might be his last with the team. And 64% of you guys are favoring the Packers to beat the New Orleans Saints, 36% in favor of the Saints. Teddy Bridgewater will be starting for the Denver Broncos against the New York Giants. The Giants brought in a lot of offensive weapons, so no more excuses for Daniel Jones. Although, they do have a tough Broncos defense to get through. And on the polls, the Time2Football faithful like the Broncos to win. 56% of you guys voted the Broncos, 44% in favor of the Giants. So it's still kind of close. We'll find out if Bill Belichick's decision to start Mac Jones will be a good one as the Patriots take on the Miami Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa has been practicing moving the ball down the field, and with his new toy in Jalen Waddle and no more Stephon Gilmore for the first 6 weeks, will it happen? 46%, as a matter of fact, are favoring the Dolphins, but we're still giving the edge to the Patriots. 54% of you guys have voted for the Patriots to win this game. Sunday night football between the Chicago Bears and the LA Rams. The Rams had a huge blow last month when Cam Akers tore his Achilles, but they hope the addition of Matthew Stafford makes them a Super Bowl contender. The Bears stay committed and will ride with Andy Dalton over Justin Fields in this game. And because of that decision, 32% of you are in favor of the Chicago Bears, while 68% like the LA Rams, who could be a Super Bowl contender this season. And finally, there's only one Monday night game, so no staying up to 1 a.m. this year. The Baltimore Ravens versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Baltimore has to revise their game plan after losing J.K. Dobbins, while the Raiders' first-round pick, Alex Leatherwood, has a lot of pressure to fill in for a depleted offensive line. And because of that pressure, 83% voted for the Baltimore Ravens to beat the Las Vegas Raiders, only 17% in favor of the Raiders. Wow. Woo. Yeah, I hated staying up till, 1 a.m. when they had those doubleheaders on Monday Night Football. Hey, those are your weekly picks, though. Do you guys agree, disagree? What are your guys' thoughts on all of those? This is what the fans believe. So this isn't necessarily my pick or my hot take, so don't get mad at me, man. Don't get mad at me. I'm just a messenger. I just asked a question on Instagram. You guys can vote on there. Actually, the polls are still open, so if you guys are watching this live, go over to our Instagram page, Time2Football, at Time2Football, and go ahead and vote on those so you guys can give your opinions on that. If you guys are very passionate about being a Lions fan and you're like, man, 88% against 12, I'm going to go ahead and help the 12%, and maybe we can help the number increase and beat the 49ers in the poll. Got a long way to go, my friend. Long way to go. But yeah, those are your weekly picks, and we'll see what happens. But I'm going to go ahead and take the next few minutes to answer some fan questions that you guys may have on this show. You guys are leaving those questions in the chat. We answer those questions live, so let's go ahead and point out a few. Hey, Earthly Links, we already gave you a shout-out earlier. I want to give you a shout-out again because you said aesthetics are on point, bro. Yes, I love it. Thank you. Took a lot of hard work to make those graphics, okay? That's the kind of direction I'm trying to go. I'm trying to get that hard rock because that's my favorite genre of music. That hard rock feel on Time2Football. So, that was Bring Me the Horizon right there playing. I'm going to get some Breaking Benjamin, some Shinedown, some Seether in there as well. So, expect it. Expect to see it. Aesthetics on point. Okay, so Juan saying, trying to decide between Allen Robinson for the Bears or Antonio Brown for tonight. Now, I will point out that Dante Jones commented and said, that's hard, but Robinson, Bears gonna play from behind. Okay, I get what you're saying. So, yeah, they are gonna play from behind. Jalen Ramsey is gonna be more locked up on Allen Robinson, I feel like, because you guys know on YouTube, have you seen this clip on YouTube where Darnell Mooney just absolutely burns Jalen Ramsey on a route? Unfortunately, Mitch Trubisky overthrew the pass. But Darnell Mooney burns Jalen Ramsey. So I think that the Rams are actually going to instead shadow Allen Robinson with Jalen Ramsey and not really do Jalen Ramsey just playing one side and Mooney, Robinson, whoever it is, he's going to guard them. I think he's actually going to shadow Allen Robinson. So maybe it's going to happen. Maybe it isn't going to happen. I don't know. But I think that if I had to pick between Allen Robinson or Antonio Brown, I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm going to pick Allen Robinson. Like I said, the Bears are just going to be from behind. So I got the confidence in Allen Robinson to go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and pick another one. Do I start, this is by Theodore Lee, do I start Robbie Anderson in double revenge over Keenan Allen, Ayuk, or Amari Cooper? I like the revenge aspect of it, and the only person I would really start Robbie Anderson over is Ayuk. Other than that, Keenan Allen and Amari Cooper are the way to go. I don't think that Ayuk, like I said, man, it's just the target share aspect of it. I don't think that the target share is just that big of a it's that big of a concern to me that they finish outside the top 50 when all three of those guys are healthy. So I'm going to go ahead and say Allen, Cooper, and Anderson would be my three top receivers that I would go ahead and play. Miguel, hey, daily check-in. Hello. What's up? What else do we got? Okay, Lucas Hogsett asked, who should I start? RBs, no PPR. Ezekiel Elliott, Chris Carson, Najee Harris, or Miles Gaskin. So 2 RBs and a flex. You got to go with Zeke. You got to go with Carson. Those would be my top 2 choices in there. I think we are actually going to go ahead and see if we can bring on Shaun Landry, because I think he just got his service back. Shaun Landry has joined your person. How do you work Zoom? I don't have a real job, so I don't know how this works. Yeah, I started the show in my mom's basement. So what? As I am getting that adjusted, let's go ahead and take another one. I have a similar Ayuk question. This is from Pedro Ramirez. Ayuk, Deontay Johnson, or Robert Woods? Thanks. I'm going to go with Ayuk and Robert Woods in this one. I'm not too big on Woods throughout the whole season, but just because of the volume there with Matthew Stafford, I'm going to go ahead and say that, yeah, maybe you can go with oh gosh, what am I saying? I'm so distracted right now. Ayuk and Woods over DeAndre Johnson. Mark Beasley, should I start Antonio Brown, 10-man league, flex PPR? 10-man, I feel like your team would be a lot more loaded than having to resort to start to Antonio Brown. I just don't know how that offense is going to operate this year with so many mouths to feed with Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. If Chris Godwin is out with that quad injury, then sure. But if not, then yeah, I wouldn't go ahead and start him. But let me see if I have the opportunity to get in Shaun. Let's see. Start video. Shaun, participants, you there? Yeah. If it doesn't work out, don't worry about it. Oh, no. He's here. All right. We're going to bring in Shaun Landry to talk on the show real quick, and then I'll get back to you guys and answer some questions before we were to sign off. But let's see if we got him. Shaun, can you hear me?
Hey, Hassan, can you hear me?
Oh my gosh. It's
Hang
so
on.
great to see you.
Wait. You're mute.
Some technical difficulties. It's okay.
Gotta love this stuff.
So you're like frozen on the screen, and it sounds like you're like a robot, but
Yeah.
okay, I can see you now. You're working.
Yeah, I'm working. I apologize.
Oh no, it's going back. It's going back to not working.
And the screen kept freezing in and out. So I'm getting.
It is not working right now. It just keeps on freezing in and out and going in and out.
Face of you, right? If it's just Zoom or yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Hey, we tried. Hey, I'm gonna bring you back on. It's not working right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring you back on it another time. But hey, it was worth a shot, though. It was worth a shot. But we'll get at it again another time. But well, with all that said, I'm sorry for that. You know, it's live. We're live, brother. We're live. F it. We'll do it live. I'm going to answer another question, then we'll go ahead and sign off. Gus or Kupp in the flex? Is this PPR? Because if it's PPR, you got to start Cooper Kupp. If not, if it's standard, I would put my faith in Gus Edwards this week. Okay, so with all that said, we already met 30 minutes at this point, so let's go ahead and cut it off right here. We appreciate you guys joining us for this episode of Time to Football. Hey, weekly picks, we went over it. If you guys had any sort of opinion on that, go ahead and leave your comments down below and continue to ask your fantasy football questions as well. We appreciate you guys doing that every single day. And I try to get to you guys in the Instagram DMs and the YouTube comments, on Discord as well. Be patient with me if I don't reply to you guys sooner rather than later, but I will get to you. With all that said, thank you guys so much for watching the show. Enjoy tonight's game.